Volunteer Awards. I'd just like to welcome you all to this meeting, the Volunteer Awards 2021. And so I'll just take you through the program that we have today. The program that we have today, we have a GYF 2021 report that will be taken through by Peter. Then we'll have the volunteer stories from some of our volunteers that have been with us. Then the partner stories, some of the people that have partnered with us this year. And we have some guests with us today. They'll be able to share some presentation. Then we'll have our volunteer engagements and volunteer recognition. Yes, we have some volunteers who've been outstanding and will be able to recognize these volunteers. Then we have a GYF 2022 plan that we want to share with some of the people that have joined us. They may be new to Global Youth Forum, and we'd want them to know what we have in store come next year. Then we'll have the closing remarks by our patron, and I think that will be it. Thank you, Peter. You can just jump on and take us through the GYF 2021 report.
All right, thank you, Rogers, for that. Quick update for you that don't know me. My name is Peter. Probably I might have met you some time back. So if you can see my screen, let me know on the chat or just do that for me. Can you see something on your screen, Global Youth Forum 2021 report? All right, okay. So we were just jumping on this one, maybe just in case you are wondering what Global Youth Forum does and how we got here. So probably just a quick one. Feel free to mute yourselves so we are not interrupted a little bit. All right, okay. So I've just done a bit of unmuting there. So just in case you are wondering what Global Youth Forum does, our aim is to help young people either create a job or get a job and live a little bit better lives, if you see what I mean. So I just wanted to tell you a little bit of a story as I jump onto this one. So Rogers, please time me so I don't go beyond time. So I was born and raised somewhere in Sierra County. And down there, my history is playing football and climbing trees. And because I was this outside child, I wasn't that settled, if you see what I mean. So because my family could not afford to pay my secondary school fees and all that, other people believed in my ability to go to, they believed in my ability and they supported me through high school to university. So a big shout out to Team Urafiki, that is a team in the UK. So I was then moved to the University of Nairobi, where I started at Rover Scout, where we grew from 3 members to 68 members, and we became the best club performing at the University of Nairobi at Pakabete campus. Then upon graduation, then I joined my first job as a marketing officer and a resource center manager. So I graduated with a degree in agricultural sciences, but ended up in the marketing job and resource management. So you can imagine that. So I wanted to throw a big shout out to my first employers who believed in me and gave me that particular chance. And there is where probably Global Youth Forum began. It is there where we started our first symposium that was attended by 68 people. And the first project I did down there was Football 4. It was a football tournament that raised $500,000, which we donated to Mayor Drug Rehabilitation Center. So this then drove me to start thinking, if other people outside my country could believe in me and gave me a chance to believe in myself and to do what I love, how about me turning back and giving back to the young people and just supporting them? So throughout the year since we started, we've registered in 4 counties in Kenya. So our first county, the last county we registered at was Sierra County. Then we went to Nakuru County. Then we went to Nairobi County, and Mombasa County was our first to be registered. So out of those counties, so far we got 2 active counties and that are working on this community project. So just in case you are here and wondering how we go through our volunteer processes, these are the steps that our volunteers go through to join our platform. So every year when we get to August, we start recruiting and the recruitment stops in November. So basically members pay membership fee of 200 bob, just like as a commitment fee. And once we get them, we admit them to our volunteer engagement platform, and then we develop departmental goals, and then we set departmental leaders who then develop annual calendar and develop assignments for their teams. And then we got projects and then the actions. So then if you are here and you're wondering what is in it for me as a volunteer if I join in 2022? So one, you get a platform for personal growth and development. I know Rogers is there and Rogers will speak to us at some point. So then you access 3 recommendation letters per year. And we will tell you at some point why we only give 3 recommendation letters. So for our events, we offer discounted fees to our participants or our volunteers, because if they can't afford, but then they want to be part of it, how can we support them? Then the right to present and submit a project to the executive for consideration, then access to Global Youth Forum online community, that is a platform where we engage, we share resources, and we just uplift each other. Then you become eligible for the Volunteer of the Year awards every year, and Rogers again will be speaking to us on that at some point. Then when opportunities come our way, we refer our volunteers to those opportunities. And then as always, we do progressive report, mentorship and coaching. And then obviously, because you guys are here, you can now agree with me that this is a purely networking platform. You see people from across the globe joining in to speak to us and just motivate us. And then you also got a right to become an ambassador, because we just don't want people to go out there speaking about GYF. So we empower you to do that. So when we go to 2021, we did set a plan. So just like I've stated, we set plans. And for our recruitment this year, we had 33 volunteers and we had 5 goals. Our first goal was to raise 60,000 Kenya shillings, because our long-term aim is to build a self-sustaining community sports center. And then our other aim was to empower 200 young people with life skills, and also to train 20 young people on entrepreneurship skills, and also to produce 15 community young leaders, in addition to training or providing civic education to 70 people across the globe. So looking at how we have performed, we've had a number of people joining in, and I can see Elias is there, Rogers is there, and others people are still missing in action, but I know they will be speaking to us in a short while. My CEO is not here with me, but she got a message for you. I will be sharing that, but she did send her greetings. She has been doing some amazing work, as opposed to Peter, who have been just sitting somewhere and wasting time. So that's our big team. And obviously being part of this team, when we were setting it up, my role was to be a fundraising manager, but that changed. I will get Elias to speak to us on how that changed. And then I know Siraji was also to join in and speak to us. So because of COVID-19, we had a number of challenges, but we did manage to revolve around our thinking, but we came up with virtual influencer series just to help us achieve our goals. So where we did these sessions, pitching through videos, they must have IT skills. Basic financial literacy we did not conduct because not so many people signed up for that. But we also had problem-solving session, design thinking, entrepreneurship, servant leadership, negotiation skills, and volunteering in the community. I know this is the exciting part, guys. So I want you to take notes on this one. So what we have achieved so far when we were looking at our year, our aim was to empower 200 youth with life skills. We have achieved 314, that is 157%. Then producing 70 civic educators. Rogers, I know that was your department. We managed to do online stuff and reached out to 107. In terms of empowering 20 young entrepreneurs, we did 50%, that is 10. And 2, as I speak, have their own businesses. And I know some of them would have joined us, somebody like Damini, someone like Charles. So out of the 10, we have 2 with businesses. But this is more interesting because the last slide will be explaining more about this. Raising 60,000 for the community sports center. We just managed to raise 4,750, and that's a very big amount of money. And that one we only did 8%. And then producing 15 community young leaders. We only did one this year, and we will be explaining more. So coming now to just as I summarize this report, I want you to figure out this one. When we started at 33 volunteers, and we are speaking about dedicated volunteers, and to form the list, we got Damini, Rogers, and obviously me in another corner seated, talking, just as I do. But I want you to figure out, for those who are with us, we are not putting you down in any way. There are many ways, and volunteering is demanding, and based on what you do, you also played your part. But here we were able to measure the impact of 3 dedicated volunteers and what they have achieved. So I want you to imagine if we were to empower these 200 youth with life skills, and each young person was to pay 2,000 bob for every life skill we empowered them with. If we multiply those numbers, then we get 628,000 Kenya shillings in our account, if you see what I mean. But again, going down to empowering 20 youth with entrepreneurship skills. All right. All right. Empowering 20 youth with entrepreneurship skills. I want you to imagine this was at discount prices. If only these 10 people pay 10,000 per individual, we were to raise of 100,000 Kenya shillings. And producing one community young leader costed us 80,000, because this young leader we are counting as one, we gave him the apprenticeship module for the entire 6 months. First 3 months is 30,000, second 3 months is 30,000, and we topped up 20,000 to get him start his own business in terms of food. So in total, we would have raised 808,000 Kenya shillings. But I want you to relate that to Kenya shillings and tell you how like volunteering can be very powerful, if you see what I mean. The national budget of Kenya stands at 3 trillion. But we got a debt of 7.71 trillion Kenya shillings. And look at the number of unemployed young people, 5.3 million. If these 5.3 million people, young people who are not employed, are employed, then meaning they can be generating approximately 2.2 trillion to go towards the national economy. So then, I want you just to figure out how volunteering can change the national economy and can bring about development. And that's why we wanted to host this day and just share with you our experiences in terms of what volunteering can do. So jumping down to volunteer stories, guys, I got few people in the house, and I know Elias. Elias, I'll give you 2 minutes to just talk to us about your volunteer journey with us in 2021. I know you didn't stay to the end, but you played a critical part, so I'm just keen to hear from you. So thank you all for listening to me, and over to you, Elias.
Thank you so much, Peter, and colleagues outside there. Much appreciated being part of Global Youth Forum. I am Elias Mahmoud, a volunteer, was once a volunteer working under Uganda Red Cross Society and at Arua branch. Lucky enough, through initiative of Global Youth Forum, I happened to get engaged with Peter and the team, joining a fundraising department team. And hopefully, I had wished to be extensively engaging and learning and then building myself, and also trying to come back and build the community I'm living in. But unfortunately, you know, the nature of the work that I later joined myself in was also overwhelming. But nonetheless, I equally gave my support, both financially, maybe engaging other volunteers like Siraji. I brought Siraji myself to ensure that Global Youth Forum base is wide enough. Yeah, you know, but there's one key thing which I wanted to say about the Global Youth Forum. For the 1 year, I actually engaged myself extensively for around 4 months, if not 4 to 5 months. So within this sort of 4 to 5 months, I learned things that enable me to meet my job requirements. Because as Aaron said, I was once a volunteer under Uganda Red Cross Society. But as of now, I'm now working with the government of Uganda. I work as a surveillance department at the district health office. So as I was discussing earlier on, when you hear about COVID-19 pandemic and so, I'm actually one of the first responders. So my entry point is as a volunteer. So with much of these words, Peter and team, I would like to appreciate what Global Youth Forum has done to myself personally, and maybe other engagements. But I know this year we're going to be together again. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Elias, for sharing that with us. I'm just trying to look around and see who was with us in 2021. But let me jump to Wambui, who took part in during our dialogue, volunteer dialogue series. Wambui, would you love to just share with us your experiences for like the next 2 minutes? All right.
Hello, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Wambui. Carry on.
Yeah, I'm sorry today you won't see my face. You know my issues already, Peter. Yeah, thanks a lot first for inviting me to this very good forum. We had the dialogue for the volunteer week, and what I'll just love to say is that I have really learned a lot. Being a leader of another organization, I will say that I thought that I'm leading properly, but I've just come to realize that there are some things that are not put in place, and interacting with people in this forum, it has opened my eyes, and I'm here to learn. And I was thinking of even carrying my entire team to come for this meeting to see what guys are doing out there, but I understand. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity that I've been given here, and also the way you've guided me, and also giving us opportunities out there. I'm very sure that this is a forum for us to learn. We are here to learn. Pamoja strong. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Wambui, for just sharing that with us. Just to reflect on what basically we've been doing. So again, as most of you would have loved to say, other people put words into other people's mouths. As these people were joining, I never even made a call just to tell them what to do, but I wanted them to just come in and tell us their real experience. So it is honestly from them, and we don't make up stories. We want people to always speak. If we do, we achieve something, that is what we tell people, and we never want to lie, and that's what we want people to speak about. So thank you guys for being honest and for just sharing that with us. So with me in the room, I got three guests who have been part of our training. I know I got Dr. Shali, I got Shiv, and then I got Nava. So I will just bring them here to just speak to us. I will start with Shiv. And once I start with Shiv, then we go to Dr. Shali, and then we will go to Nava, and then they will just share with us their experiences on what they've been able to capture by them supporting us this year. So I will start with Shiv to just jump on and tell us his experiences with us. So Shiv, jump on.
Hey, okay. Thank you for having me, and congratulations to Global Youth Forum. What you guys have done is really fantastic. It's been like now about 2 months maybe, or even less, that I've got to know Peter and the work that you're doing. I think it's fantastic. And it's a godsend that, I'm now in touch with you, an ability to kind of do things together. This brings us in a sense to 2022, what's going to happen and how we can move forward together. I think many of you youngsters here are in here for the volunteering, so that you can build yourself up as well as become great entrepreneurs and get good jobs. For me, it's all about, why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Why do you want to get a good job? I guess it comes down to abundance. Abundance, you can describe it as, getting more for ourselves. It can either be in dollars and cents, or it can be some other gain. And that some other gain, what it is for me, it's more smiles, So especially now, as we know, planet Earth is under more pressure. Those days, the guy, entrepreneur with a cigar and making billions of bucks, but not caring about where the bucks came from, What were his values? Did he care about the people that struggled with the child labor and all that? So in a sense, I think now we all need to be more aware of that. And bringing us now to 2020 and what happened, the pandemic. The pandemic, very hard hitting, but it also brought about lots of changes, technology being one of the biggest of them. So you can see how we are all connected. We would not have been able to do this before. So this has brought us together. Let's take advantage of this and work together with the right people. I want to speak with the right people because it's all about the values. For me, I'm very grateful that, for example, Peter just spoke about the honesty. I mean, looking at some of the reports and, you didn't make profits. I like all those values. So it is like working with the right people so that we can have, empower them with the values, and all of us being happy together. It's not about making $1 million at the bottom line. Sometimes the happiness just comes from sitting at our local beach or a local store where we have a cup of tea and sing songs. We have to do it in a sustainably way, in a sustainable happiness way. So in that regard, looking forward to working with all of you, looking at all of us to develop the right values in each other to build a better planet for all of us. Thank you, Peter.
So, trying to unmute myself, just to add something on what Shiva have spoken about. Just to give you a quick picture of how I met Shiv, it was under the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals campaign, and there is a group. So because Shiv runs a gamification platform that empowers the people with the skills, and we managed to connect. So you can imagine the power of internet. And with Shiv now, with him bringing his expertise into the team, and now like we will now hear more about the speakers. We will share the Shiv's link with you guys, so you guys can also access his tools and also get from him, also learn from him. And that's why we want you to get the most out of this and just move on. So Shiv, thanks so much for sharing that. And let me now jump to Dr. Shirley. Dr. Shirley did send me some presentation. Not sure if I will manage to project it, but just to introduce Dr. Shirley. Dr. Shirley, again, we met during UN SDG Action Campaign. She does so many things. She loves, Dr. Shirley loves like being fit and living healthy and doing all number of things on SDGs. So Dr. Shirley, speak to us on what you think is relevant in relation to young people volunteering in their community.
Okay, so thank you, the very kind invitation from Peter, and also the rest of the participants to join us today. So Peter just displayed about a certificate on the CSR planning, corporate social responsibility planner. So, for the past 1 year, Peter has been doing a lot of things, and it's very wonderful. But for next year, what we need to do will be, if we want to generate economic growth for the student in Kenya, and then we need to have a quite systematic quality of education for both volunteer and also for the people who will be nurtured about the volunteer. So I think with a very structured program that we can educate the volunteer, you try to contribute to the community, actually is to generate your happiness for wellness. Because when you help others, you feel happy. Just like, I taking a lot of time to do a lot of book publication under COVID-19. Transformation will be thinking about wellness, what you really need in life. Say, for example, your happiness can be generated if you're helping others. And the second thing is about the wellness together with art or maybe some kind of spiritual thinking. So in the past 1 year, I've been helping with Peter on design thinking, design how to nurture the young people about creativity, design a program, design a project. And also I invited Peter about Christmas time, December 27, as the moderator to talk about resilient art debate. So that's why, the program here, I want to let you know that I'm willing to help the volunteer to generate design thinking. At the same time, you can maybe generate revenue by using entrepreneurship spirit. But the thing is, you need to know CSR, how to plan something for your local community. Say, for example, your market need at the moment, or maybe the thing that when you educate the participant, what kind of thing they want. They want to know how to make money, maybe physically in a local community, or they want to have a service that can be crossed over to other parts of the world. So the CSR positioning together with UN SDGs to make their life changes, to see the evolution and also helping others It's not just volunteer. They can be entrepreneur. They can be, say, for example, a life ambassador for others, and that will be life, okay, to be changes. So that's why you can see this kind of training is a very structured program I've been delivered in Hong Kong, and also the UN SDSN facilitator also is my student in Kenya. So I train a lot of students across the world, but we can use maybe a video recording instead of Zoom, because some students in the developing country, maybe they lack of Wi-Fi. So I will discuss with Peter how to structure those into maybe not only not that long for 30 hours, can be 3 hours, and then let them to have a mindset. What will be the CSR planning to change their life and also to change the participant? So finally, that will be a kind of evolution for 2020. Thank you, Peter.
All right. So you guys, you have just seen for yourself what partnership can do, and you can see the costing of that particular program, and you have somebody in the room willing to support you on that. How amazing is that? And you got Shiv also bringing his gamification platform just to also just support you because you are giving back to the community. And Dr. Shali, we've done so much. So if even I was just going to ask, if Shiv, I was going to pay you and Dr. Shali, I was going to pay you, I wasn't going to afford this, if you see what I mean. And that's why I say that we've been doing a discounted program for just you people, just to ensure you guys are developing. So now let me jump down to my other friend, who again, we just met online. During again these online events, and people go out there to learn and do so many stuff, and she's managed to come in and train us on 2 particular things. So we did negotiations that Dr. Shali attended, and then we came up with the design-driven entrepreneurship. And just last week she invited me and Damini to take us through like an entire program of what we've been doing and what she thinks we need to do. So I welcome my friend from Singapore. I'm told that Singapore got independence the same year Kenya got independence. So Nava, over to you, talk to us.
Hi, thanks for having me. So I'm going to share my screen. All right, so just let me know if you can see it. Are you able to see this? Oh no. Let me just share this. Okay. I'm not sure what you're able to see, so just let me just give me a second. All right. Sorry, just give me a second. Some technical difficulties.
All right.
All right. There it is. All right. So you should be able to see this now.
Yeah.
All right. So do you see the full screen?
Yes.
All right, okay, so I'll take you guys through this. So thank you for having me. I'll be sharing a bit about my experience with Global Youth Forum. So like Peter has said, right, we met through events. So from what I understand and what Peter and Damini have shared, right, Global Youth Forum started as Football for Peace. And this was a couple of years back, and it was meant to be a platform for early intervention, especially for at-risk youth. And of course, you know, years later, the program has evolved, and this is what Global Youth Forum is today, right? And there are key pillars that we look at, which is the entrepreneurship skills, civic education, and life skills. And so it's become a platform to provide opportunities for youth to gain knowledge, skills in the areas of these pillars. And the team has come up with like various initiatives. So I think Peter has also shared how we've been a part of the last few sessions on negotiation skills, and I shared on product launch, where I focused on communications and community. So, you know, this has been such a dedicated team. So I also wanted to share, like, you know, what has been great, right? And I think it has been very heartening to see participants and partners, especially coming in from different countries and having met on very different platforms, right? Coming together to share knowledge, most importantly, to learn from each other, and also to create a very engaged community of learners and to practice what we learn. And I think what has been great was, you know, seeing people seeking to continuously gain skills, knowledge, and perspectives. And I think more than that, right, this whole platform has been made possible and has been very inspiring to see a group of very young people coming together to co-create and build such spaces for other youth, because, you know, I think like Peter and Damini and the rest of the team, you know, you could be doing your own thing, you could be going out with your friends, but you're taking time out of your schedules to do this for others. And so I think it's been very important to see that, and it's also important to see everyone progressing together. And so this is where, you know, last week we sat down and we're like, you know, I was trying to understand, hey, what is the organization planning to do tomorrow, right? And when we talk about tomorrow, we're talking about 2022 and beyond that. You know, like 5-year goals, 10-year goals, right? What are you planning to do? And so some of the things that we spoke about was organizational structure, because as the team is growing, right, as your goals are also evolving, the organizational structure needs to adapt to those. So I think Shiv touched on this topic of sustainability, right? How can you be sustainable to meet your long-term goals? And one of that is to actually increase the team, right? Having a very engaged core group of people, and also building up volunteers. And so there's this very famous saying, right? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So I think that's very important in building the team as we grow. And the other part is about having internal opportunities as well, right? So you are having workshops for other people and participants. But last week when I shared this, I also said it's also very important for leaders to grow, right? So what opportunities do you have to seek learning for your volunteers and yourselves as well? The other part about curriculum, right? So there are so many skills that we've been talking about over the past couple of months. So there needs to be, you know, research to identify maybe some core competencies to focus areas of learning, right? And then to build the curriculum around that, and also ensuring a very good learning experience so that there can be a very engaged group of learners and a very good experience in the process. And of course, you know, designing interactive platforms. So we've been doing a lot of sessions on Zoom because of COVID. I think Damini spoke a lot about having physical events, right? But in terms of like sustainability and scaling in the future, right? Having platforms where people can access maybe recorded resources or games even, and gamifying the platforms, right? And then also having necessary toolkits, because say if you have 5 people or 10 people, it might be very difficult to scale it into different countries. And so how do you have toolkits to have other people run some of these programs? So that's something to think about. And then the last part is, you know, think even bigger. And I think this is a very ambitious team. And I still encourage you to think even bigger than what you've been thinking about. And I think you are also a very dedicated team, right? So it's definitely possible to meet your ambitions. So having goals is good, but also having very specific plans to get there. In terms of scalability, right? We spoke about, you know, working with people, right? And so that's where it's very important to find the right partners. So, you know, we spoke about having learning partners, knowledge partners, but also platform partners. You know, if you want to use certain tools, who can you work with? And something I've encouraged the team to look at is, you know, don't limit yourselves, right? Work with international organizations and also local organizations to provide these resources, but also in terms of job opportunities in the future for participants to get into either internships or get full-time jobs. And then for youth, I think this is the part where some of you have been, you know, waiting to hear, what can you do, right? We were all younger ones. So I think, you know, it's about one thing that I think Shiv spoke about as well was, you know, the world's changing very fast, right? Technology is evolving. And Dr. Shirley has also spoken about education and some of these opportunities for learning. So a very important skill set for the future, and even right now, is learning to learn. And so these are the sort of platforms, you know, you have to be engaged in. And if you're curious, right, that is very good, because as you go into your work in the future as well, you have to continuously learn. The other part is about leveraging opportunities. So as and when opportunities come up, you know, take them up. And the last part is to connect with people. And I think a lot of us are here because we have made use of these opportunities to network at various events and platforms. And so you never know, you know, who you connect with, because everyone has different lived experiences, knowledge, and perspectives. So that's all from me. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, if you'd like to connect after this, feel free to reach out as well.
All right. So how we clap on virtual events? You just head to the chat and just tell Nava what you loved about her speech. But you can see what the global like how the world now looks like, and I can see Shiv doing that, and then you can also just head there to the reactions and try using those reactions on that particular button, and just let's see. So just that's what you have seen from the 3 speakers and the 3 guests I've invited. You can see a dedicated team keen to give back, to nurture the next generation, to give you the best that you want. So there is no excuse. So learn to learn, network, and do all those particular things that Nava have said, and what Dr. Shali have said, and also what Shiv has given us. So jumping to the next segment, I think I want to introduce my new guest, and I will want to tell you how we met. Because of COVID, there are many things that happened. And here is a video, like you remember Dr. Shali touched on a video and said, hey, we can do video. So the United Nations come in and they are asking for a video that people who love volunteering produce 2 minutes video and then join the program. So then I managed to produce my video, and then I go to UNV. And then for my regional, by that time, he was the head of my regional area. So Tapiwa calls me and says, hey, Peter, there is a global technical meeting on reimagining volunteering for 2030 agenda. And we managed to connect and did so many things together. And even last year, he was my speaker for the volunteer awards for 2020. So I reached out to him this year again and say, hey, Tapiwa, can you join in and just be part of this particular event? So then he accepted to be part of the event. So I will just welcome Tapiwa to now tell us the state of the world's volunteering report, because he's been up there trying to develop these policies and doing a number of things. So Tapiwa, over to you.
Hi, Peter, and good morning, good afternoon, everyone. So good to hear all these fantastic stories. Peter, I've shared with you a very short video. If you can, it's less than 2 minutes. I think it's a couple of seconds. And thereafter, I shall not speak. Let the graphics and the video talk. Do you have it, Peter? Peter, do you have the video? No, Peter.
Did you send it via email?
Yes.
All right. So then meaning I have to open the email and have a look. So
it's very short and sweet.
All right. Okay. So I'm just
While
opening.
Peter, please go ahead. While Peter is doing this, look, this was a pleasure to interact with grassroots-based initiatives or movements such as this one, the Global Youth Forum. And since I started working with Peter on this global meeting, we organized this UNV and other partners, including the Red Cross, under the auspices of a United Nations General Assembly resolution. It has been fantastic to work with Peter. Peter asked me to talk about something, if not anything. Then I said, wow, this could be the best opportunity to talk about the state of the world's volunteerism report that we've just released and launched a week ago at the UN General Assembly in New York. Right now, I'm sitting in Bonn at the headquarters of the UNV. I'm in Bonn, in Germany, and the mode of at the moment disseminating the report. The report, the State of the World Volunteerism Report, released this year, is on the theme of building equal and inclusive societies. The moment you talk about inclusive societies, equal for that matter, you're talking about where the youth are. If you're talking, for example, in Kenya, 3.5 million youth who need something to do and opportunities, space for engagement, then this is the element of equal and inclusive societies. In Africa alone, we're talking about 1.45 billion young people who are there waiting to do something. So this report talks on the need for such elements of society. This report is published every 3 years, and this is the 4th in a series. We started publishing this in 2011, then 2015, 2018, and now 20. Do you have it, Peter? I can't hear you. You are muted, Peter.
So yeah, I just got it, Tapiwa. So when you stop, then I will share it. Okay.
Okay. All right. So let me quickly go through this because it might be some of the issues that might be a repetition.
Okay.
this report has very interesting recommendations on volunteering, and also findings that we have come up with. The research was quite thorough. We did field research in 17 countries, especially of the Global South, including Kenya and Malawi, DRC, Congo, and Senegal in the case of Africa. And across the world, Nepal, Fiji, China, and also in Latin America, Ecuador, Trinidad and Tobago. Then in Europe and CIS countries, Pakistan and other places, and also Tunisia and Lebanon, in the Arab world. And I don't want to pride myself that I was the lead researcher, the lead writer of this report, but yes, I take pride because it's not easy. For almost a year, we're working on this and coordinating so many partners involved in volunteering to have this report that I'm holding, proudly holding today. This, I don't know whether I can see this in my camera. I don't know whether you can see this. This is the report that we've published, and it's going around. Some of the evidence that are coming out is that globally we estimated 662 million people are volunteering age 15 and above. And we ended up with this number because the figure that we had come up with was 3 billion, but the methodological explanation was rather difficult. So we ended up with the monthly, which is 686 billion. The findings also noted some gender disparities in volunteering between men and men, between regions and countries. And the recommendation to this is that governments and policymakers need to attend to issues regarding disparities in opportunities to volunteer, even in the Global Youth Forum. If it is money, or how can it be mitigated? If it is access to volunteer opportunity, how can this support them? There are issues such as 6.5 of work age persons who are doing volunteering work through organization. And we are saying this figure can go up. People like myself, people in the private sector, yes, they are doing the usual corporate social responsibilities, but we are saying this is small. We want people to give back to society in a big way. And also that volunteering provides a bridge, particularly for brokering relationships between communities and development stakeholders, including for youth to development, issues of youth volunteering, how they become a bridge in line with employability skills and also with space to become responsible leaders and to address issues of social inclusion, etc. And so we are saying volunteering offers such opportunities, and that volunteerism enables people to shape and own their development needs and agenda. This is important. The thing about research is sometimes you end up with the things that we know, commonly know, but the fact that they are coming over and over, I think it's reaffirming, so that current policies can be revisited, reformulated, and re-angled and reshaped in order to address issues of concern. And other issues, it's a long list of findings, but I'm just touching on those that I think are interesting. That volunteering offer diverse path to civic participation and gaps in volunteer practice and restoration across countries. Volunteering, sometimes when we're doing civic participation, we are probably given a program, but we do that on a voluntary nature. And you know very well that these are the issues that eventually lead to change. And we think that this is important. Before I close, I want to say that 1 or 2 points that have come up are models of volunteer state partnerships that we think is a big issue. We are saying through this report that when volunteers partner with state authorities in decision-making processes, they are able to address development challenges faced usually by the most vulnerable in society. This might be obvious, but probably they are lost in bureaucratic process, and we are bringing them from there and putting them on top and on the radar of planning, so that those who use volunteer mechanisms in development, they can start to appreciate and take this forward. Another model is one on state volunteer partnership in co-production. Volunteers, particularly at the community level, they can work with state authorities to co-produce services and also deliver such services with very little resources needed. And this we want to put it to authorities that they must acknowledge that volunteerism are global and local assets that can be used in development planning, and if this can better be known. I think from the post-MDG era up to now, there have been a number of resolutions that are pointing to the need for member states to acknowledge volunteering. I think we also know that as we talk now, we talk against the backdrop of 21st century development challenges, rising inequalities, climate change emergencies, and the global COVID pandemic. All these, they require a whole of society approach and contract. And these are the contracts that we are talking about. A 21st century social contract that will bring everybody. We know there are barriers, duty bearers, and what have you. We are saying we can all come together and do something, if not anything, about ourselves. And the other point, the last model has to do with partnerships in innovation and innovative solutions. Volunteers, they come with skills, they come with energy, they come with experience, and they are motivated. And we are saying if they are allowed space, they can produce localized, effective, and efficient solutions to development, and they need to be acknowledged for that. There are so many issues. One other area that we really looked into, as I conclude, is that of the 21st century social contract. In development discourse today within the UN, this thing is coming out over and over again, and we are saying we need to unpack it. What is the 21st century social contract, and how is it located in our sphere, and how do we take charge of it? In our definition, we say when development actors can engage, work closely, collaborate, and co-create development services based on equal, that's the most important thing, based on equal and inclusive structures and relationships and the mechanisms that are fit for the 21st century development challenge. This is the whole essence of a 21st century social contract. So Peter, thank you so much, and colleagues. I think last time I addressed this meeting, I think, is it Dr. Foster, Stephen was there again, and so I'm very grateful, and I really wish you the growth that you need to spread your wings, not only based in Mombasa, Peter. Now it has to be a real Kenyan program with all the youth, 5.3 youth, finding space in the Global Youth Forum to contribute, to grow, etc. I'll be sharing with Peter the digital link of the report so that you can also have the possibility to read through it. And also, if you can also share it with other colleagues and to see how it can help to foster volunteerism as an asset. Let me stop here, because in Africa, where I come from, not here, I'm in terrible weather right now. It's cold, it's cloudy, but in Africa, where I come from, they say, if you talk, you talk alone. But if you sing with everybody. So I'll leave it here to sing. Asante sana, thank you. If you may play a short video, Peter.
Okay, right, thank you, Tapiwa. So I'm going to play the video. I think I will get it. I'm just trying to find the video for you. All right, okay. But thanks, Tapiwa, for that. So I'm just trying to locate the video so I can play it for everybody. But as I locate the video and play it, it's always a pleasure to have you. And just like Tapiwa, you have stated that we can include more young people from across the globe. That will be so interesting to look at, and just to see how best we can work with the UNV to keep that dream come true, if you see what I mean. So I got an issue with that video. So as we move to the next one, I think we were looking to have other, I've shared the link, guys, with you on the chat. So you head to the chat, you will look at it, and I can even email it to you guys and you have a look. But as we look to bring the next speaker, my next speaker, she's not in the house, but she did send me a message saying that, Peter, she just changed her role. And so she's moving from Afghanistan to Turkey. So today she was going to look her visa, but then she did send me her message saying, Peter, I would have loved to be part of it, but I'm away. But next time I will be with you. So we wanted just to see how the agenda of the UN looks like. And now we've had several ladies also in the room. The men seems to be dominating this room, and maybe the patron might be able to kill me at some point, but that's it. Nava, you represent them. Dr. Shali, you represent them, and the other ladies in the house, we really value you. Wambui, you two represent this particular team. So Tapiwa, what I will do, I will send the video to members so they can have a look. And then we can speak again later on that one, if that's okay. Happy with that, Tapiwa?
Yes, that's fine. That's okay, Peter.
All right. So then we now get to this segment. I know we were to get our participants Q&A. And this is again very exciting part. I got few questions that came up, and I know after that we'll be bringing our, we will be heading to recognition, and then we will be getting to our patron and then just closing remarks. Patron, do you want to just say quick hello so that we don't keep you in that corner, just watching a little bit? Feel free to unmute and just say hello to everyone.
Well, this can't be my closing remarks, but just to say, it's wonderful to be with you. Tapiwa, I can sympathize with you. I was back in the UK for November, and I was lulled into a false sense of security with nice November temperatures, certainly for the UK, of about 14 degrees. But then the week before I traveled back, it showed its true colors and dropped to -2. So I decided it was definitely time that I came back home to Mombasa, where it's slightly warmer than that, and you can dip your toe in the ocean without sucking through your teeth. So sympathies there.
Okay, right. Thank you, Patron, for just saying hello. So that is Patron. So some of you who might be wondering, how is Peter doing all this particular stuff? Then you know who is backing me and who has been behind there trying to find and say, oh, Peter, you got to do this and do that. So welcome, Patron. And we got several history with Patron, and that's why he's there. And that's why I'm able to do all these particular things. So thank you from my heart, Patron. I do appreciate it, and I look forward to maybe doing more again because of your support. So then let's now jump to this exciting part. This is a very exciting part, and I love to bring. This is my volunteer for this year. She was very active because she joined a little bit late. But Asma and Birigidi, welcome, because you guys have joined a little bit late. So let me jump to Asma and just ask Asma to ask any question to either the guests or the speakers. So I will get all my team that you guys should address your questions to before I go to the ones that you did send prior. So I will just bring them up for you, and you guys can ask them questions, just short questions, and then we just get it going. So Asma, can you jump on and share with us any question you might have?
Hello, Peter and everyone. Okay, my name is Asma, and then I've taken part in some of the volunteering activities in JYF. So my question is just, I'm more passionate about Sustainable Development Goal 5. So what I would like to know is like the UN volunteering staff and any volunteering that's taking place, like how are we more engaging the women? Like are we considering them in terms of taking part in the activities? And also the other thing is like when we are engaging women in internship, like, are we considering about their roles also? So that's all. Thank you.
All right, I will ask Tapiwa to jump on that one.
Unmuted, okay. Thank you for that question, very good. The 17 goals, if you look at them, I don't know how much you are involved in development planning, even at national level, or even a review of the past internationally agreed development from the MDGs. It's different from the SDGs. I'm coming to your question, but I wanted to give you a background. The way we are, the UN leading the support, because implementation is done by member states, it's not done by UN. But the way we are supporting the implementation of the SDGs is that they are integrated. They provide the whole of society approach. This is why they are called the PPC, because they talk about people, planet, and I think the other element, I've forgotten it as I told. But the element, the good part is, like goal 5, talk about gender equality. You cannot achieve one goal without doing the other. You cannot achieve goal 17 on partnership without taking care of gender on SDG 5. You cannot achieve poverty, zero poverty on SDG 1 without taking care of gender. That will not happen. This is why they are integrated. That's one point. The next point is that we used to do development in silos. That is, you plan, you want to do environment, then just look at the environment as an environment business. But now the approach is a bit different. When you do environment, you want to see how environment will impact on women, on children, on society as a whole. So this makes a prosperity as PPP. The other one is prosperity. Thank you. Whoever got that for me. The point is, we want the way they are being implemented, they are whole society approach. So gender is an integral element in the implementation of SDG. SDG, in fact, when you look at any program, particularly supported by the UN, gender is a big check on the checklist. Has gender been either mainstreamed? Some people don't believe in mainstreaming. Why? Because they think that when you mainstream, something might be lost down there. But gender is integrated efficiently in all the SDGs approach. Thank you.
All right. All right. Thank you, Tapiwa, for that. And I know Asma was our volunteer at some point doing a bit of work, but maybe in between there are many things that popped up. So I jumped down to Birigigi Siraji all the way. So you remember Elias who spoke about that he was a little bit held up, but he brought a friend. And the friend has been there, maybe backing him up. So I would love to welcome Birigigi Siraji, and that's what friendship really does. I might not be somewhere, but my friend is doing something. And thanks, Elias, that shows me you are a leader in your own right. So Birigigi, jump on and ask either Shiv, Nava, or Tapiwa any question, and probably after this, I will just project the few questions that came my way through the Mentimeter. So Birigigi, over to you.
Yes.
Unmute, sorry.
Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Peter. As usual, first of all, I'm very grateful to again being part of today's session. But basically, maybe for the record, Peter, I don't have any question to ask. Most of the sessions, all the presenters that we have, these are, you see, what is more touching about every session that I've tried to share since I joined the Global Youth Forum. You cannot leave when you have not learned something from it. And that is one thing that I'm always very passionate about. I've read everything, Peter. I have no question at all. because I think actually most of what is most important is the translation of what we run every time we have these sessions, putting them into actions. That is the most important thing that can make us move forward. Thank you, Peter.
Okay, that's Siraji from Uganda. You remember Siraji was part of my fundraising team, so he might want to tell us why we didn't achieve the target, but thanks Siraji for coming through with that one. So let me project few questions that came my way. I'm trying to find the questions this side to just project them and see if we can. No, there was a question that came this way asking that Tapiwa, in terms of, this one goes to Tapiwa, I'm just reading from the mentee. So the question was, Tapiwa, in terms of informal volunteerism, and many people volunteering in their own capacity and in their own right in their local communities, what is the UNV or the United Nations bodies or agency doing in terms of measuring the impacts of informal volunteers in their local communities? If you can jump on that one, I know some members will be very grateful.
Thank you, Peter, and that is a very interesting question. For many years, we have been doing the advocacy of volunteerism through policies and all that stuff. But we are moving now to measurement so that we can say to partners, to the doubting Thomases, look, volunteerism can factor, can assist, can cause change through this way. And to that extent, we have been working with ILO. And last year, we produced the first module that we are going to embed on national household survey processes so that we can capture the actual, the social and economic value of volunteering and even quantify this into dollar cents so that people can get to understand the value of volunteering. I can give you examples already that 2 or 3 years ago, we experimented with measuring volunteerism in Kenya itself. And we found out that volunteering was contributing 3.6 to the GDP. And we've been using this figure to tell other or to inform other stakeholders that volunteerism can indeed bring values. And also in 2018, we noted that the global figure of volunteering in terms of dollars were close to 109 billion. This is a lot of money. This is not change. And but in the next SWVR, the State of World Volunteering, we are focusing on measurement for 2024. Now to your question, informal volunteering is very difficult to measure because sometimes it is spontaneous at the community level. We don't even know who has volunteered and who has not volunteered. But if we come up with a module with a robust research approach, like something that includes some elements of ethnography. I'm sorry, I'm going back to university where I used to teach research. Ethnography is really going down there and becoming a participant of the research itself so that you can capture who has done volunteering in the community, at what level, what were the results, what was the inspiration, what was the motivation. We are trying to do that. We are still in the process, noting that 70% of volunteering is informal. Only 30% is formal through organization, through associations, so 70% is informal. So we are saying we are coming up with a methodology, working with other UN agents, particularly ILO, to come up with a module that will be able to extract the volume, the extent, the value addition of volunteering at the community level, which is usually done through informal volunteering. We are on the way, Asante.
All right. So again, thanks so much, Tapiwa, for that clarification, and that was insightful. So probably now you've just highlighted out there on how we can probably work together with other organizations to get into this informal volunteerism. So then another question came my way, and this was directed to me. Peter, why because when we were starting our 2021 goals, I was to manage probably maybe few things, but then I was the fundraising manager. I find funds a little bit tricky for me, so I wanted to give myself a challenge. But when my volunteers like got busy, and I'm glad Elias is here, he was the chair of the department. So I was asked, Peter, why do you think you did not manage to raise 60,000 Kenya shillings for the community sports center? I would have loved to answer that question, but I want to throw it down to Elias and just give us some few factors that he thinks might have barred us from achieving our financial goals. So Elias, a chance for you to speak to us.
Thank you so much, Peter and colleagues. Thanks for giving me this opportunity to say a few things about this. Actually, it's difficult for me to say this out, but one of the biggest factor that I can say is usually the commitments and engagements. You know, as a young persons outside there, we actually destined to be looking for other greener pastures and so forth. So sometimes there are some other engagement that takes us away. But generally, for me personally, I feel so much pain inside my heart when I was brought in to be the chair of that department. And then I was also struggling to make ends meet. So I found myself more hustling than committing myself to the Global Youth Forum. So basically, you know, it was difficult for me to say this out. But what I can say is about commitment and engagement. So these are actually the biggest factor that led to us not to mobilize enough funds for the Global Youth Forum.
Thank you so much, Elias. That is just from the horse's mouth, and I know Damini will be happy to hear that particular comment. I know we've managed to achieve so much, but when we fail on our set goals, we do also appreciate, because there is where we learned the most, and we just love to just move on. So now I know now we are getting to this segment, and we are almost taking it home. So now it is time for our volunteer stories. I know we've got a number of people who have spoken. So to get us started, I know Damini had something for you. Obviously, we got questions there, but Damini had something that she asked me to share. She did do a video for us in the house. Because he's not going to be with us, so she did a video. But before I go into Damini's message to us, I'd love now to welcome, because every single year we recognize these volunteers and people who have given us. And as I was starting, I said we were three who were consistent to the end of the year. And I'm glad Rogers is here. So I will welcome Rogers to jump on and just give us, talk to us on how his experiences was, maybe the challenges he faced, and maybe what we can improve on, just say in the next 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes, and just we can listen to real volunteer in the house and just see what he went through. So Rogers, over to you.
Okay, well, thank you, Peter. Okay, this year has been very challenging, and starting the year we had some goals set, and we had various departments, and myself, I was the leader of the civic education department, and I'll just like to talk on the civic department. I can recall I had around 6 volunteers who to assist me in carrying out various tasks, and we started off well, but maybe because maybe some volunteers had other commitments, they were not able to engage in the commitments that we were supposed to deliver, and so those are some of the challenges that we faced along the way. And but something very encouraging is that it is always about teamwork, even when you have maybe other commitments or you are held up somewhere, you can always support in other ways. And that is one thing that I found very helpful in helping us achieve our goal as the civic, in the civic department. And I'd like to thank Peter and Damini, because at some point, as we've heard from Elias and also from Birigigi, that they were also part of it. And at some point, I myself, as the lead of civic education department, I also felt that my department was crashing down. And but with the support of Peter and Damini, and also we have the likes of Birigigi, who have always been supporting our programs. We've been able to have various programs on civic education, and we were able to surpass our target. And we had a target of engaging 70 youth on civic education, and right now we've engaged 107. So it's very encouraging, and it couldn't be achieved by myself alone. Probably maybe even we could, as early as maybe April, the civic department could not be there, but with support of Peter and Damini, who are always my mentors, I really appreciate their effort. And also we also had other departments, and as Peter said, as you can see that we were able to raise only around 4,000 for the fundraising department. So it's a challenge, but that is what we were able to do. And that is what I like about being at Global Youth Forum. It's always about transparency. It's always about transparency, and the action that you put, the action that you put is what you'll get at the end. And those are the results that we've been able to achieve this year. Yes, we've encountered these challenges, but it is the teamwork, it is the support from each other that has kept us going till the end. And I would like to thank everyone, every volunteer that supported us through this year. We love you, and we just want you to continue giving us more support as even come 2022. Thank you, Peter.
Thanks so much, Rogers, for that wonderful presentation. So Rogers came in and he was like, but we still went and found out where he was, and we managed to get him back. So we are glad that we had his story and he was able to support us in little way he could. So as I look to bring Damini's story as well, Shiv also threw a question our way, asking Peter, what was the greatest challenge that you have faced, when you started Global Youth Forum? And how was that problem solved? So just to give Shiv an answer to that really quick, as I look to bring Damini's video, which is short, less than 2 minutes. So Shiv, when we started Global Youth Forum, the world of virtual was something out of like, people could not understand. So when we were starting, we did not have funds to rent office or do this, all sorts of things. So we were digital, like we'd work from our home, from our house, go reach out to teams. But listen, if we go out and speak to a team and say we are looking for 10,000, but then this person asks, where is your office? Well, we are digital. You can always find us somewhere. They can't pay us. They can't pay us the money because they don't know whether they will be running away with this. We will be running away with this particular money. So we struggled with that until now. We got to a level like now from our first tournament, we were now able to partner with others, and through partnership, people could trust us more. And then from my presentation, I spoke about having established Global Youth Forum in 4 counties. That is in Mombasa, Nairobi, Siaya, and Nakuru County. You can clearly see that the other 2 counties, they are not very active, because like having a dedicated team and a committed teams of young people in these various counties to help champion this agenda sometimes can be very difficult due to commitments. So I just wanted to throw that out there to you, so you can just have like a quick glimpse of like challenge we came through and how we've managed to solve that one. So how we managed to solve the office issue, it was through partnership. And how we've managed to get committed young people is not letting people like Rogers run away. We go and find them and bring them back and find ways to inspire them and just to encourage them. If they want to fall off, we go bring them back. And we have people like Asma. When Asma or Elias is running away, we ask him to bring people like Birigigi to stand up for them. So that's how we've been able to like just go grab them and bring them back. They fall away, we go bring them back. And that's how we've been doing that. So let me now jump really quick onto Damini's video, and she got, I'm just trying to find her video for you. So I will share it with you and give it a listen. I must say Damini did more job than I did, and being my CEO and Damini not being part of she hasn't been into these things. So having been the founder CEO, I say, let me step aside and allow the young lady also to jump on and make her own mistakes and learn as I coach her behind the scene. So Damini has been very brilliant. Like I give people jobs, I give people tasks, and Damini can really manage to cope with that. So I must say Damini has been very helpful. She has been doing some great job, and personally, I'm so proud of her. I probably need to buy her maybe chocolate if she does it. So so I will bring her on, and then you guys can just listen to what she has to say. And I will also share the link with you guys to just have a listen. So there is Damini's message, because she was not going to be with us. She did say she's producing.
Hope you're all doing well. My name is Damini Modasia, the current Chief Executive Officer of Global. Several challenges and amazing experiences as well. Today I'm going to share with you my achievements, lessons learned, and challenges I faced in the year 2021. My achievements include gaining soft skills such as negotiation skills, critical thinking, problem solving, teamwork, among others, by attending the virtual influencer series events. I also started my own business, a food restaurant called Royalty Dishes. I started my own YouTube channel, creating 16 videos and reaching to 60 subscribers. I also implemented the idea of Volunteer Now dialogues and engaged 6 youth on volunteerism. The lessons that I learned are designing and marketing techniques, which helped me in my business, effective communication, which helped me organize the Volunteer Now dialogues and engaging with the participants, gaining confidence to produce videos, and critical thinking that helped me build my content for my videos. Some of the challenges that I faced include time management. Because I work in an 8-to-5 job, creating time for voluntary services sometimes affects my performance. Also, lack of resources such as Wi-Fi and data bundles, especially when I'm on external audits, affects my attendance to events. Lack of a suitable environment affected my performance as well. To all the youth out there, Global Youth Forum does an amazing work, and I am so happy to be part of that organization. I hope to work with Global Youth Forum in the future, and I thank the organization for trusting me in such a big position. Thank you so much, and looking forward to working with you in the future.
So that's Damini's message. She was going to be held somewhere, but she did find time to create that video. Just to give you a quick brief about Damini, when I met Damini, even taking a photo that way was a problem. So you can imagine getting somebody who is photophobic to now producing videos and now speaking in front of the audience. And that has taken me, I've known Damini for 6 good years. And that's how we can be patient with people. And that's how we can work with people just to transform lives. So tell me if we can get somebody like Damini, somebody like Rogers out there now to now go establish their own global youth forums and just run those global youth forums. Will that not be the transformation we really want? So then it's now my time. I'm just trying to look at my time and I'm like, patron want to run away. So, so I will welcome now my patron now to just speak to us, and then we have our closing remarks, and then we move forward to the next step. So patron, over to you.
Thank you. I hope you can all hear me.
Yes.
Jolly good. Okay. First of all, I'll do the bit for which I'm under instruction, and then Peter has no responsibility for the rest of the patron's remarks. Just to introduce myself, Dr. Steve Foster. I've behind me, as you can see from this lovely decoration either side of my ears, I've had around about a 45-year career in educational management and in project development, not always in education. I've worked in the UK, in various parts of the United States of America, different parts of Europe, and in Southern and Eastern Africa, which has now been home for more than 20 years. During which time I researched two doctorates, and as some of you with a little bit more experience under the belt will realize, that climbing on the horse is one thing, hanging on as it gallops is quite another matter. And so gaining a doctorate is not an end in itself, it is merely the beginning of a very challenging adventure, which regularly needs to be updated. I've had a lifelong association with the world of scouting. In fact, I'm the third of 5 generations of scouting in my own family. And I, allegedly in retirement, spending even more time than I expected to as a canon, which is a senior officer, if you like, with the Anglican Cathedral here in Mombasa. So that's the beans spilt on me. That's the official bit done for Peter. I've known Peter since 2008, and that came about through my involvement as the National Treasurer and Assistant Chief Commissioner for Finance and Development for the Kenya Scouts Association, which post I held for many years. And so if you think about it, for a village scout from Siaya, not an hour and a half's drive from Lake Victoria, for him to be brought to my attention amongst the hundreds and hundreds of thousands of scouts of all ages that we have, but to be brought to my attention by an international donor, well, I think that speaks volumes for the charisma and the personality of Peter. Damini, I met as, you know, as Global Youth Forum CEO. I met her as a very quiet, shy, self-effacing young lady student while I was the college principal for the Jaffrey Institute here in Mombasa. Her dramatic and marvelous transformation, well, it speaks volumes for itself. Now, I stepped down as the chair of the trustees for Global Youth Forum in December 2019, whilst continuing as patron. And of course, little knowing what lay ahead of us as 2020 would unfold. Now, it's common knowledge that many CBOs and NGOs have fallen by the wayside during the past 2 years. And this is not just due to the pandemic issues, but also due to it being a catalyst to laying bare underlying human resource management, sustainability in terms of project conceptualization, and the financial mismanagement issues, not just here in Kenya, but in so many places. But importantly, as far as this particular meeting is concerned, Global Youth Forum is still very much here, as the 2021 review report shows. Now, here we are, and it's the end of 2021. And today's event, newly invigorated today by our guest supporters. So Nava, Shiv, Dr. Shirley, and Tapiwa. God bless you, and thank you so much for taking your time out in what I know are immensely busy schedules, many demands on your time. Thank you for giving your time and giving a framework of enthusiasm for what Peter Damini, Rogers and the team are trying to achieve here against the background of tremendous challenge, both socially and economically here in Eastern Africa, because it's not just Kenya, of course. I'm deeply grateful for that. You have my sincere thanks, and of course, my hopes as the patron that these collaborations and this networking that you are offering will continue to thrive. I mean, you know as well as I do the old saying that you cannot put an old head on young shoulders, but we can certainly give the youth of today the torch to help them light and find their own way forward. So in today's dramatically and increasingly rapidly changing environment, we are awash in cliches, in buzzwords, and in sound bites. You know, they're all sort of here today, gone tomorrow, almost literally. But the creative thinking, the adaptability in delivery, and the resilience, I think, which have been shown by this sterling little group, the Global Youth Forum Kenya team, and their growing band of supporters outside Kenya's borders, particularly in Uganda, so Karibu, Kenya, Uganda. This creative thinking, the adaptability, and the resilience that they've shown demonstrates a strong commitment and a sound overview of what their contemporaries, what the youth of today need. And what they need is not what the politicians often offer, which is the populist quick fix. They need something much more concrete. Give them the opportunity and let them show, as Tapiwa touched on, let them show what they can achieve. And as was mentioned, without the glossy offices or the padded salaries, this small group of volunteers has offered and successfully delivered essential life skills, education and training, civic education, all sorts of a diversity of empowerment capacities, which demonstrate that the actions always speak louder than the words. And I think that if we wanted examples that individuals can make a difference, that certainly in our own little corner of East Africa, we have it in Peter, Amin, Domini, and the other members of the team. But I want to not even bother to spare any embarrassment. I see Roger's picture up here in the top corner of my screen. And I just want to say a word about Rogers, because Rogers doesn't think that I know very much about him. So you see, patrons' eyes and ears are everywhere, so be careful. It's sadly become very rare here in Kenya for a young Kenyan to honestly self-evaluate and to say, no, I haven't made the grade, and to say, I can't accept this award as a volunteer of the year. Young man, I just want to say I'm hugely impressed. You will go far, because as our guests here today will endorse, I'm sure, that for employers and for entrepreneurs, they value real integrity. And that is something that's very, very important. And so with the advice in my capacity as the patron to the team of you in Global Youth Forum, that you look now to strengthen and to grow the GYF Board of Trustees, I must do what patrons are always expected to do. I noted a little earlier when looking at the information that Peter had passed to me, that for the Sports Centre, despite all the challenges that have been highlighted today, that you managed to raise 4,750. So it's the patron's obligation to say that I will add 5,250 shillings to that, so that you can at least hold your heads up high and say, well, we did raise 10,000. And the patron's responsibility, of course, is to remain anonymous there. So on that note, I'll sign off. and wish all of you every blessing this Christmas and this holiday season, whatever your faith may be, to wish you good health, success in all your endeavors in 2022, and please, for all our benefits, all of you, stay safe. Asante sana.
All right. So thanks so much, Patron, for that wonderful contribution. And as always, there is something going on towards the Community Sports Center, so big up. So that's really amazing. And like maybe just to add on what Patron have said, maybe every single year at the end of the year is when we want to do our fundraising. So based on what we have done, we come to celebrate like this and people reward us on what we have done or not what we are looking to do. So that is something we are looking forward to. And just to, he touched a little bit on it, and I would love to stress this one. The honesty and the integrity that came with Rogers, because this year our aim, we were looking to say, look, all our volunteers, we look around and like maybe there were a number of issues that popped up. So it was Damini, for me, leave me in a corner, just leave Peter alone in a corner. But I looked at Damini and Rogers and says, Rogers is a volunteer, then Damini is an executive. So meaning volunteer of the year goes straight away to Rogers and the executive goes straight away to Damini. So when we told Rogers that, Rogers, look, you've been very helpful and because one in here, now this is what we have to do. Then Rogers did send us an email. Just give me a thumbs up if you can see my presentation there. Can you guys see it? All right. Yes, so we get there. We get here. Can you see that one? Where Rogers and Damini is. Then Rogers writes down an email down there and say, hey, as much as you guys would have loved to give me this award, I have just looked at myself and said, Peter and Damini, I don't think I deserved it. And that is now what we wanted to bring to the people and the people out there that, look, if people don't deserve something, you don't like, just go take it because it is there. Evaluate yourself, be honest, and just say, look, I'm not for this one, but I think next time or so and so deserve that. So I just wanted to bring it to your attention, the leaders we are striving to bring. And Rogers last year graduated as our Young Leader of the Year. And if you have more young people standing up and saying, look, you want to give me this, but I don't deserve it. Maybe I need to do more. How about looking at that? So Rogers, from my heart, I'm so proud of you. You see our t-shirts are the same. I don't know which one you are wearing, but for me, I'm putting on Football for Peace. So you are proudly wear that t-shirt, and I look forward again to seeing it move on. So let's jump on to our glimpse of 2022. So this one again will revolve around who turns up to be a volunteer next year. And probably we are thinking either we retain these goals and work on them, or maybe we will redesign our goals based on advice from Nava and the rest of the team. So every single year we design our goals with our volunteers, but this is just a quick glimpse of what we are looking to do in 2022. There is an apprenticeship program. Now we want to transform from just general impact to like measured and quantified mode of approach. So what we are looking to do, because more young people are left out in the rural communities, and just like Daktari have touched on it, growing up in that little village where eyes were not open and people were just like in a corner. But for me, I've had great opportunities. I've worked in the UK, and now doing these things I do, people hire me to do the online stuff for them. How about taking that to the rural community? So what we are going to do is, Tapiwa, here we will need your help and your networks around the globe, Nava, Shiv, and nearly all the experts in the house. Here now we need a hand. Every single young person out there got a talent and they got passions. And how can we bring them to life by realizing their talents and passions? And obviously we got the 17 Sustainable Development Goals that the young people can contribute. So through our challenges, we want to have a platform. Probably we'll be doing it in a small way as we look to go big, to identify young people's talents. And once we identify their talents, we have like a virtual center, just like we are doing now. Look at the experts in the room. Look at Daktari's experience. Look at Nava's experience. Look at Dr. Shali's experience. Look at Shiv's experience. Look at Elias, and look at the integrity that Rogers brings in the team. If we bring this expert to pass on these skills to other young people, wherever they are, like, doesn't matter where they are, I will take my equipment to where these young people are and bring my experts to talk to them. And that's what we have there as like a hybrid, or partner with an institution, like let's say every single month, we go into that institution, we provide the training, and our experts from across the globe can always come in and share their experiences and skills with them. Just like I was speaking to Shiv the other day, he's a self-made coder, and he's keen to pass these coding skills to young people. Shiv, you already have Rogers there. Can you coach Rogers for me in terms of coding so he can help you with building the games? So Rogers, catch up with Shiv. You have an offer there to capitalize on and just build that gamification platform and keep that going. So once these young people then graduate from our platform for the 3 months, then we hook them to an industry. If somebody was passionate about sport, is there a sports academy that can give them hands-on experience? And can we partner with businesses and entities to give us all these particular skills so that we can grow together? So purely that was a glimpse of how 2020 looks like for us. And now, before we close and run away, I know we are running 10 minutes late, I will project a certificate for both Damini and Rogers. And I'm not sure if you guys have used Anecdote. And I want you to give probably a personalized, I'm just trying to open it so you guys, has anyone used Anecdote any day? So you guys can see. I will show you in a minute. Can you guys see my screen? I will stop it a minute and I will reshare again. But I want to just take you through what we expect to give to Rogers, and probably now Rogers. Shiv, Shiv, yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, because of Rogers' commitment and dedication, I know this certificate he will keep it. Rogers, for me, I would love to speak to Shiv, and because of the work you have done, so that you guys can work on the gamification platform, and let's just grow that together, because you are an IT expert and you are looking to grow, because Rogers graduated with a bachelor degree in business and IT management. So Rogers, you got a mentor now more than Peter. So if Shiv accepts, I will allow Shiv to just speak on that offer before I project the certificate. Shiv, what's your comment on that one as our offer to Rogers?
Peter has put me on the spot. But of course, Peter, as I spoke to you the other day, last week, I am looking for younger people. Life as you go on is all about, getting from the universe and also giving it out. So in that regard, I'm most happy to work with Rogers and help grow this. In the process, it's just not I'm giving out. I know I will learn as well, So across borders, across cultures, I already had a chance to have Peter Rogers on my quiz some time back. I'm really impressed. Honestly, I'm really impressed with all you young Kenyans that I've worked with. Excellent command of English. And from the people I see, your integrity, I'm looking forward to working more often. And indeed, hopefully when the pandemic settles down, actually come over out there to Kenya and visit all of you, okay? And the wild, the Kenyans, the wild out there in Africa. Yes, short answer, yes. I look forward to hooking up with Rogers. Huh?
Okay, thanks so much, Shiv. I'm so relieved that Rogers, through your integrity and hard work, you've gotten a person to just hold your hand. So down here we got, still again, you can see my slides?
Yes.
Can you see a certificate somewhere?
Yes, we can.
Okay, Tapiwa, probably what we will do with this one, I want to also put you on a spot here. Because you, I know where you sit. I will come down there and find you. I know maybe it might take us some time to go to Anecdote, but if you can use Anecdote somewhere, you go up there and just write personalized comment on what you think. Just give them on this particular topic. So I can say, you see what I'm doing there? So you can go in there and write something that is for the meaning, just a word or two, and I can allow it for say the next 2 minutes. So if you can use Anecdote, you click up there, there is Anecdote somewhere, and then you just write something. You can even give her cool, it's like personalized. You just write anywhere you want on that certificate.
Why is it Peter? I'm not.
And then Tapiwa, you can go here and sign if you want, or we send you a copy and you will sign for us. Okay.
All right, I'll do that.
All right. So as we look that, we will look to play with this at some point. for you just guys to just like have a look. And then Rogers, we will send you a final one. But here is a list of the people we want to give congratulations, well done. So you write Damini something, and then also we jump down to and say, let me say, okay, Rogers, this is your one. Can we, Rogers, this is your one, not you. I'm just, people are like just there. So that is Rogers. We will be recognizing Rogers. I will speak to Patron on what he said. Patron commended, like highly recommended. So we'll speak to Patron on how that should go out before it goes out. Tapiwa, we will send you all this, you sign and send them back to us. And then we send them back to people. And then for me, just ignore me, just leave me alone as Peter. Then Nava, for your good work, also we'll send you something. You've been very helpful. And for the thing you've done for us, we'll also send something your way. Shiv will also do something for you and just send you something your way because of the good work and the support you've been giving us. Dr. Shali, we are coming your way and we are looking to partner with Gracia Christian College for making these things work. Daktari, for me, I will buy you a chocolate and you just enjoy and have fun. So, so for always supporting me and giving me a hand when I really needed it. So thank you so much. And then to all our volunteers, I say thank you. So the closing remarks, I will give all my guests and all my guests to just have 1 minute to just encourage the young people. And then I will have, because I got some people from Cameroon coming in, I'm tempted to give somebody from who haven't spoken, Ukazu Beauty, or I will go to David, or will give us the closing remarks. So what we will do, we will go in this order. I will start with Nava. Rolf, you will come and give us a closing remarks, okay? Because you have not spoken. So then we will start with Nava. Nava will jump on and will give us her closing remarks in less than a minute. Then I will go to Shiv, Tapiwa, Daktari, and then a volunteer. And that should sum up our day. So sorry guys, if we are running late. I thought this one was like an entire day event, but I'm glad you guys are keeping time, and that is the thing we really want. So I will welcome Nava to give us her closing remarks.
Thank you, Peter. So I just want to thank the entire team, right? So there is Damini, Peter, Rogers, all of the volunteers as well. And it was also very inspiring and to see what Rogers has done about the certificate. So I think in the year ahead, I wish the team the very best. I think to everyone watching in terms of volunteers and participants, right? I think the last thing that I mentioned was about, learning to learn, right? So keep curious, right? Engage in the events and the various initiatives, be very engaged, right? If you have ideas, come forward to also lead these initiatives and then leverage opportunities that come your way, and keep engaged, right? Keep engaged with everyone in network. That's all from my side.
Thanks, Nava, and for those wonderful comments. It was lovely working with you. So I do appreciate the heart you got. We need more like you. So let's jump to Shiv.
Yes, so before I start, one quick question, Peter. Is your volunteer program open to anyone in the world, or is it only for Kenyans or East Africans?
No, this is open because much of our work is always online, so we are open. So basically what we can do is like see how we can work with you to bring it to Malaysia and just partner and do more things. So it is global.
Okay, thanks. On that note, my closing remarks. First of all, congratulations, Roger. Having known you, I think you're fully deserving of it. Looking forward to working with you. Congratulations on the Volunteer of the Year. Damini is not here as well. Congratulations. It has been a great experience this last 1.5 hours, meeting all of you online. I'm excited the ability to share now globally, as well as to learn and network with all of you, Dr. Tapiwa, Dr. Stephen, and everybody. And looking forward, perhaps in 1 year's time, we will have a bigger global audience of volunteers here on this live screen. Thanks so much. Looking forward to making this a better planet, working with better people.
Thank you so much, Shiv. Let me jump to Tapiwa. Tapiwa, jump on, give us your closing remarks.
Look, to the volunteers who have been recognized this morning or afternoon, let me say, use this to inspire you more. People have put something on your face or on your neck. It's like a bell. You know, those who are headers, cattle headers, so it will keep making noise. And that noise should inspire you to do more, okay?
Yeah.
And don't put and file this in one of your several papers, no. Put it somewhere where it is visible so that this becomes the 21st century social contract with yourselves and others. So keep it. Look, it has always been a pleasure to be part of this since I knew Peter. And I would like really to wish the Global Youth Forum all the success, despite the limited resources. But it is the spirit, it is the motivation, the will behind all the planning that will drive you continuously. I hope and I wish you all the best, more so as we get into the festive season. Dr. Stephen will tell you that here in Deutschland right now, despite the COVID, every evening we can't wait to go to the Christmas market for Glühwein. So I wish you Merry Christmas, and I wish this forum all the success in the coming year. Asante sana, thank you very much. Where I come from, we say Siawong Tatenda.
Thanks so much, Tapiwa. I know Tapiwa gave me an offer. Tapiwa asked me that he wants to be in my board team. So Tapiwa, I'm counting on you this next year. So that was an offer I'm not taking for granted. I will run picking it, and I look forward to working with you. So I know I got Rolf all the way from Cameroon.
No, I have to receive a letter signed by Dr. Stephen Foster that we are asking you to, so that I can put it on my CV.
All right. Anyway, we will get that one sorted with patrons, guidance and stuff. Tapiwa, we will get you, not to worry. So I got someone from Cameroon. He has been so quiet in the room. Rolf, do you want to, because Rolf is new, and what will you tell a young person having been part of this particular program? Because you have been in Cameroon, I'm not sure if you have taken part in any of our activities. What will you say as just being part of this event? Jump on, unmute. Rolf, do you want to speak?
Okay. Good morning, all of you. I would like to speak in French because it's my maternal language. So, I'm Grégory, je suis Grégory. Je vous écoute depuis Douala au Cameroun. Voilà, j'ai été vraiment satisfait des échanges qui ont lieu ce matin. C'est vrai qu'initialement, j'avais prévu participer entre 13h parce qu'à 13h, c'est la pause. Donc, actuellement, je suis encore au bureau, bon, ce qui fait que je ne peux pas prendre assez de temps au risque de perturber les collègues qui sont autour de moi. Donc, voilà, le Global Youth Forum est un challenge et c'est une initiative à apprécier parce que je constate que les membres, les fondateurs de ce forum participent et œuvrent pour le bien-être des personnes qui sont autour d'eux. Et vraiment, je suis flatté par cela, car c'est quelque chose qui me tient particulièrement à cœur. Donc, du coup, je me dis, voilà, en tant qu'électricien, comment est-ce que je peux mettre mon savoir, du moins comment apporter ma part de contribution dans le développement du monde autour de moi. Donc, comme j'ai tantôt souligné dans une question, je me posais la question à savoir, comment venir en aide à certaines personnes sans toutefois bypasser les procédures administratives dans notre pays. Parce que chez nous, au Cameroun, quelquefois, avant de pouvoir apporter une action, il faut toujours respecter le canevas, c'est-à-dire l'administration, respecter le canevas que donne l'administration. Mais maintenant, il peut arriver que le constat soit fait et que l'action doit immédiatement suivre. Comment donc réussir à pouvoir implémenter cette action sans toutefois empiéter sur l'action gouvernementale ou bien administrative au pays? Vraiment, je vous remercie de m'avoir accordé ce petit instant. Merci encore.
All right. Let me just say I was challenged there, and there is something I really need to do as Peter. Next time we need a translator in the room. Tapiwa, we leave that one to you next time, like we did in the GTM. So I was challenged there.
Peter, Peter, if I can just say to Rolf,
Mm-hmm.
Rolf, bonjour, ça va?
Bonjour.
Bienvenue à GYF.
D'accord, merci, Dr. Stephen.
All right. I will speak to Daktari also, and then the doctors in the house. You guys can deal with the translation next time. So I'm not like, but thanks so much, Rolf, for jumping on and just sharing. So as we close, guys.
Thanks, Rolf, for sharing, despite the language. Thank you for the confidence in sharing.
Yeah. All right. So Patron, have your closing remarks, and guys, I have to release you to go have your lunch or dinner, if you see what I mean. But thank you so much for your patience. We are like 20 minutes late, but you guys have been here joining in, smiling. Rolf bringing us a new angle at the end of it. I'm like, we needed more of that.
I think, Peter, for our visitors, they and our guests, they will obviously realize that the familiar, and to people particularly will be very, very familiar, that the world is divided into time zones.
Mm-hmm.
And here in Kenya, we are GMT +3. But there is also this phenomenon called KFT.
Mm-hmm.
And GYF sometimes functions on KFT, which is Kenya Flexi Time.
Yeah.
And here in Kenya, it is impossible to be late because you are always on time when you arrive.
Mm-hmm.
So I see Tapiwa appreciates the joke. So I simply want to show you this. And this is my GYF t-shirt. I'll turn it round for the proof there. There it is. And that's simply my parting comment. Whoever we are, wherever we are, whatever our background, whatever our experience, whatever stage in life we are, together we are strong. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. And I look forward to an exciting 2022. And with you guys in the team, we will come back with our 2022 goals, and everybody will be smiling because I think we got a committed and dedicated team. And now if we like just consolidate what we have, we can be able to achieve so much. And for me, I'm from my heart to your heart. Thank you so much. And as always, together we are strong. So you guys can feel free to drop something on the chat around, but we will end in the next 5 minutes. So if you are staying in the room, feel free to speak to us. So we've ended the formal part, and now it's time for us just to speak for the next 4 minutes, and then we close the room. So thank you guys.